My name is Gene. I am a widower. I lost my wife several years ago. It was something that was very unexpected and very sudden. She had some health issues and she was with me one day and gone the next. I went through some very intense grief, a journey that I still continue to go through. But in the middle of all of that, while dealing with help from friends and from family, from therapists, I was able to process it through it. But I was struggling, and even as time passed by, those that came to support me moved on. So I found myself struggling, feeling lonely, just missing having a partner in my life. I have two older children that have their own lives. So I didn't expect them to be something that my wife was for me, which was a constant companion. My ghoster, the person that I connected with, was actually a friend of mine from 30 years ago from high school. She and I were very, very close friends. We shared a lot of intimate moments, but we were never a couple. We didn't date. I was more of a BFF sort of situation, a go-to person when she needed somebody to listen to her, or she needed some help. She needed someone to do her homework for her, that kind of thing. She was just somebody I hung out with. I connected with her, and we remained friends, even as our life moved on from high school into to college and beyond. I met my wife. She was in a number of relationships. She had a bit of trauma and things that came up in her life, but we still remained friends over 30 years. So after my wife had died, just a little under a year after she passed away, I met up with this person just because I was lonely. She made me feel seen. She made me realize that even though I was going through all of this grief with losing my wife, that I still had the capability of loving somebody, even if it was a friend from 30 years ago. The best thing that I can compare it to is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is probably one of the best examples of ghosting that is out there. She was my Jenny to my Forrest. We had a similar situation, not that I was handicapped or anything, but she was just there. She was somebody that was very open for me, and she made me feel comfortable. She made me feel at ease. She made me feel that I could share whatever was consuming my life at the time, or that I could share fun moments with her, that we could do things that we did as friends, that we could just be there for each other. She texted me every morning, "Good morning," and "I love you." And it was wonderful. It was special. I suppose it would have been the comfortable feeling that we had, that we were able to connect again. That feeling of being able to just hang out. I think there were moments where we would just be watching something on at home at her house or my house, and just she would be sitting there on the couch, and it was just like good times again. I had somebody with me. She made me feel safe. She made me feel like I wasn't going to go through the rest of my life alone. And that was something that is, if you had a soulmate that you lost suddenly, if you had somebody in your life that you've had to deal with complex grief, it's something you struggle with, especially when they're young. I wonder sometimes how I was going to get through the next 25, 30 years of my life alone when I spent 28 years with somebody next to me. So this person made me feel whole and complete. And that's one of the favorite things about her that I remember. About 3 months ago, she was going through a lot of things. With 30 years of time between the two of us, we both also had our own families to deal with, jobs, work, health. And she was overwhelmed. She was dealing with a lot of stuff. And she was one that had gone through so much trauma that she was very skittish, very shy about asking for help. Whereas I am very opposite of that. And if I know I need help, I will ask for it. She was somebody that felt she needed to be self-sufficient, that she needed to deal with her own problems. So a couple of times I said, "I will give you your space, whatever you need. I will be here. The door's open." And I would check in with her, and then the daily texts started dropping off. the daily check-ins. I hadn't talked to her on the phone in weeks. I had offered a couple of times to drive up to see her. It was not a short drive. It was a 3-hour drive, 6-hour round trip. So a couple of times I made plans with her. She's like, yeah, come up and see me. Maybe we'll have lunch. And then she would cancel on me. But the last time that I saw her, that I texted her and we had made plans, she actually made the suggestion for the restaurant too. It was a place that she'd wanted to try out. And I was kind of surprised because she is very picky. She's a picky person. And so when she suggested it, and she was excited, she said, I can't wait to see you again. I was like, great. And then the next day, as I said, hey, I'm heading out the door right now. I'm can't wait to see you. She texted back. She goes, I'm going to have to take a rain check on this, which is the third time she had done it. And that's what happened. I was hurt. There's no other word that I can think of to describe it. I was hurt. It hurt because I thought we had that connection that we had before, where she could trust me, where she knew that I wasn't wanting anything from her other than just to be there for somebody, to be able to love on somebody, to show them that they're loved and they're worthy of love. And that's just always been my nature, to be able to be there, that kind of support for somebody. And so when she turned me out 3 times, the third time was just finally, it broke me. It broke me before because she had done it before too, where I hadn't talked to her for a month. And then she reached out and she's like, oh, I moved. I was in the middle of, I had a lot of things going on. It's like, well, I don't know what your thoughts are on having somebody as a partner in your life, not your husband. I wasn't planning to marry her. I was just being a friend. I said, and she didn't have a lot of close friends. I know that. She was very independent. She would look out for herself first. And I get it. For somebody that did not have what I had, she struggled with the men that she had in her life. And I knew that they mistreated her, and other people in her life made her feel the way that she did, and that she didn't feel like she was worthy of having somebody in her life that could be there for her. So how did it make me feel? How did I react? First I was desperate, but then I wrote down a very thoughtful, I didn't blame her for anything. I wasn't taking the blame for anything. I just said, hey, look, I love you. I started off, I will always love you. I loved you back then. I love you now as a friend. You are as somebody in my life, the very few people that I have the level of connection that I had with her. I can name 3 other people, one of them being my wife and 2 other people in my life. I said, look, I know that you're overwhelmed with things. I know that I understand that you don't know how to handle this. And she didn't respond back. She didn't email back. She hasn't texted back since then. She actually blocked me on social media. She was using the excuse of something that I had done to someone else that she was upset about. And that's not the reason why you blocked me. And I know that. And it makes me sad. It breaks my heart. Not necessarily for me at this point, but for her. Because I just did not want to leave her thinking that I would be another person in her life that had turned her back on her. I love her still. I care very much about her. I sent her a birthday card. I didn't put anything flowery or I love you or anything. I just say, hey, I hope you have a great day. I hope you find peace and comfort. And that was it. I didn't expect anything back. I knew I wasn't going to get a response back. I just assumed that would be the thing. I will make this clear for those of you that are struggling with being ghosted, being on that end. It's not you. It is them. It is a product of trauma, past relationships, trauma with their parents, with the people that raised them, people that they hung out with, that they were burned. And it becomes a self-defense mechanism for them. When things feel like they're getting out of hand, that they can't handle it, they panic, they shut down. It is not you. I learned that for myself. I took so much of the blame. I kept saying, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do to you? How did I hurt you? I'm so sorry. Then I realized I didn't do anything wrong. I was present. In fact, when my wife died, I remember a couple of days after, I said, I will never, ever, ever find somebody again like her. And I will never, ever open my heart up again to anybody else. Because why would anybody do that? My wife, my soulmate, my partner, the mother to my children, this person that was a constant presence in my life is gone. She broke my heart. She died. She's gone. I mean, she's still around. There's more to that, but she's not here physically. She's not here with me. And so why would I go through and open my heart up again and risk it being broken? Maybe somebody would do this where they would ghost me, they would dump me, they would think that I wasn't worth it. I would think they would die. Somebody else, I would have to deal with somebody that I love dying in my arms again. But she changed my mind. She made me realize I was still capable of love. She made me realize that I could open my heart up and take that risk again to be able to show somebody else that they're loved, they're worthy of it, that they are not alone in this life. They don't have to take on these struggles by themselves. And I did everything for her. I made myself vulnerable. I made myself available for her. She knew I would take care of her. She knows that still. But other people have come into her life that have put that doubt in there. Other people that have taken advantage of her kindness or generosity. Other people that have gaslighted her and ghosted her, that only come into her life because they need something from her. And she focused on that. There were other things going on. And so it wasn't about me. I learned that. It was never about me. It's never about you. So remember that. Remember that your heart may be broken. You may be asking, why did they just leave me? And it is not what you think it is. It's not ever really us. It is something that is almost always on their side. And you should continue to live and to love and to go out there and experience this world, experience this life, and take those chances. I know it's frustrating. In fact, after this whole saga, I thought, I'm not ever going to open my heart up again. I'm not going to go risk getting my heart broken into 1,000 million pieces. I think I'm one of the few people that have been ghosted literally with the death of my wife, and then ghosted this way. It makes me laugh sometimes. It's like, well, what are the chances of that happening? Well, it happened. It can happen. But I will not let that change me. Absolutely not. But, am I actively going to go find somebody right now? No. I think I've learned to adjust and find other things to keep me occupied and amused and go do things that I've always wanted to do. For me, I've decided to get into hobbies and to do fun things that I never thought I would do because I always felt like I needed to do something with a partner. So I keep myself busy now. If something comes along organically, if somebody comes into my life and I know I'm never going to find somebody like my wife again, I will never find somebody like this other person. And that's fine. But if somebody else comes into my life and they're open to it and they are willing to take a chance on this crazy person, then yeah, I'm not going to turn that away. I will take that gift that's given to me and I will love on them. I will do everything that I did for my wife. I will do everything I did for my other person and love them. And I will not carry any animosity with them. I will not carry any need for revenge or anything. I wish comfort and peace and happiness for those who feel like they need to ghost, because there is clearly something they are struggling with and they need that kindness and they need that compassion. And maybe if you're the ones that shows them, hey, I am not going to be the person to leave you in your life, they'll realize how much they hurt somebody. They know. I have been told and passed on information that she regrets it. She absolutely regrets it. She has now realized she is missing somebody in her life that was there for her constantly. And they said that she absolutely wants to try to fix this and come back, but her pride and her stubbornness and her ego will not let her do it. And I said, well, until she resolves that, until she addresses that, I will continue on with my life. If she does happen to come back into my life, I will proceed with caution. But I will not turn them away. I will give them the grace and kindness that we all deserve, because I know that we have all done stupid things in our lives, and we ask forgiveness. We beg for understanding from others, and those who ghost you deserve that. Even though you don't feel like they do, we need to love one another.